Nearly 4,000 meters below the Pacific Ocean, sunlight no longer exists. The water is so cold it burns. The pressure is so extreme it could crush a human body in less than a second. Somewhere inside this endless black abyss, something enormous is moving. In 2012, a deep-sea research submersible drifting silently above the seafloor captured a moment that still disturbs marine biologists today. For less than 7 seconds, one massive eye appeared in the darkness beyond the camera lights. Then it vanished. No full body, no confirmed species. Just an eye bigger than a dinner plate staring directly back at the crew before disappearing into the void. But what terrified scientists was not the eye itself. It was the realization that whatever owned it was still hidden beyond the edge of visibility. Something giant was down there, and it had been watching them first. The deep Pacific Abyss is the largest unexplored habitat on Earth. More people have walked on the moon than have visited the deepest parts of our own oceans. Below 1,000 meters, the world transforms into a realm completely detached from surface life. No sunlight penetrates the darkness. Temperatures collapse toward freezing. Food becomes scarce. Survival becomes brutal. And yet somehow, evolution continued building giants here. Scientists call this phenomenon abyssal gigantism. Creatures that appear ordinary near the surface suddenly become monstrous in the deep. Tiny crustaceans evolve into giant isopods the size of dogs. Squid develop eyes larger than basketballs. Worms stretch into impossible lengths. And predators become terrifyingly oversized, because in the abyss, every meal matters. For decades, researchers believed gigantism in the deep ocean was impossible for active hunters. The energy demands would simply be too extreme. Massive bodies require enormous food intake, and the abyss is practically a biological desert. But over the last 20 years, that assumption began to collapse. Deep-sea sonar scans started detecting moving objects too large to identify. Enormous shapes appeared beneath whale migration routes before vanishing into trench systems. Acoustic sensors recorded low-frequency movements that resembled neither whales nor submarines. And then came the unexplained scars. In 2003, marine biologists studying sperm whales near New Zealand documented fresh circular wounds across several whales larger than tractor tires. Some scars measured over 1 meter wide. The only known creatures capable of leaving such marks were giant squid. But according to accepted biology, no squid large enough to create those injuries should exist. Something much larger had attacked them in the dark. The deeper scientists looked, the stranger the abyss became. Cameras lowered into trench ecosystems occasionally captured impossible glimpses. Massive tentacles slipping beyond visibility, unidentified fins disappearing into sediment clouds, bioluminescent flashes from organisms far too large to classify. Every discovery suggested the same terrifying possibility. Humanity had not discovered the largest creatures in the ocean yet. The Pacific Abyss is not empty, it is hidden. To understand why giants evolved here, scientists first had to understand pressure itself. At abyssal depths, pressure exceeds 6,000 pounds per square inch. Every square inch of matter is being crushed by the weight of an entire ocean overhead. Most surface animals would implode instantly. Bones crack, lungs collapse, blood chemistry fails. Yet deep-sea giants adapted to this environment over millions of years through evolutionary strategies so alien they barely resemble surface biology. Many abyssal creatures possess gelatinous tissues instead of rigid skeletons, allowing them to flex rather than break under pressure. Others evolve slow metabolisms that conserve energy in environments where food is rare. Some species developed bioluminescence to lure prey in eternal darkness. And the largest predators evolved enormous sensory organs, because vision in the abyss depends on detecting the smallest traces of light. That is why giant squid eyes became so enormous. In darkness, bigger eyes gather more photons. Scientists believe colossal deep-sea predators evolved giant eyes specifically to detect approaching whales. Imagine an organism so specialized for darkness that its eyes evolved larger than human heads simply to survive. But perhaps the strangest discovery came from deep-sea gigantism itself. Cold temperatures slow cellular processes, allowing some animals to live longer and grow larger over time. The abyss became a place where evolution favored patience. Creatures moved slowly, matured slowly, and reached enormous sizes over decades or even centuries. In the darkness below, life escaped the biological speed limits of the surface world. Then, researchers discovered something even more. Many giant abyssal predators rarely need to hunt actively at all, because the deep ocean is connected by invisible highways of death. Every year, thousands of whale carcasses sink from the surface into the abyss. Scientists call these events whale falls. A single dead whale becomes a floating ecosystem descending into darkness, feeding hundreds of species for years. Giant scavengers travel enormous distances to reach these carcasses. Sleeper sharks, giant amphipods, colossal squid, bone-eating worms, and creatures never fully identified gather around the remains like vultures in another world. One expedition near the Tonga Trench documented dozens of massive predators arriving within hours of a whale carcass reaching the seafloor. Some approached from complete darkness beyond camera range. Others appeared suddenly beneath the carcass itself, as if emerging from hidden caves below the sediment. Several organisms captured on film were never identified. And then came the footage researchers almost refused to release. A remotely operated vehicle surveying a whale fall encountered a gigantic moving shadow larger than the submersible itself. The creature remained outside the light beam for nearly 40 seconds. Only sections became visible. Pale skin, massive muscle movement, a single reflective eye. Then the camera feed distorted violently before the creature disappeared downward into the trench. No official explanation was ever provided. This had revealed another glimpse, nothing more. But the greatest mystery of all may not be what scientists found. It may be what keeps disappearing. Entire deep-sea species appear in footage once and are never recorded again. Deep submersibles lose contact near trench walls with alarming frequency. In some expeditions, sonar operators tracked enormous moving masses below their vehicles, only for the signals to stop instantly, as if the creature simply descended beyond measurable range. Researchers now believe many abyss giants spend most of their existence far deeper than human technology can reliably observe. The deepest trenches on Earth remain largely inaccessible. Even advanced submersibles can only remain there for limited periods before mechanical systems begin failing under pressure. And the deeper explorers descend, the stranger biology becomes. In recent years, scientists discovered giant, single-celled organisms larger than grapes living on trench floors. Transparent predators with extendable jaws, fish with pressure-resistant antifreeze blood. Entire ecosystems powered not by sunlight, but by chemical reactions erupting from hydrothermal vents beneath Earth's crust. The abyss does not merely support life, it reinvents it. Some marine biologists now suspect the Pacific Abyss may contain undiscovered megafauna far larger than anything officially documented. Not prehistoric monsters, not fantasy creatures. Real organisms adapted to conditions humans barely understand. Creatures that survived precisely because the abyss remained inaccessible. And perhaps the most frightening reality is this: the ocean hides them perfect. Even the largest giant can disappear only meters away in total darkness. Light travels poorly in deep water. Visibility collapses into blackness almost immediately. A predator larger than a bus could approach silently while remaining completely invisible until the final seconds. For millions of years, evolution shaped hunters specifically for this environment, and humans entered it only recently. Today, new deep-sea expeditions continue pushing deeper into Pacific trench systems, using autonomous drones, pressure-resistant robotics, and AI-assisted mapping systems. Every mission uncovers species never seen before. Transparent octopuses drifting like ghosts, 6-foot amphipods feeding beside whale skeletons, sharks older than modern civilization cruising silently through volcanic darkness. But each discovery also reinforces a terrifying truth. Humanity still knows almost nothing about the deep ocean. More than 80% of Earth's oceans remain unmapped in high detail, Entire mountain ranges, trench systems, volcanic fields, and abyss ecosystems have never been explored direct. The Pacific Abyss alone contains enough unexplored territory to hide biological mysteries for centuries. Perhaps somewhere in that darkness, beyond the reach of modern submersibles, giant life forms continue moving through invisible currents, exactly as they have for millions of years, unseen, undisturbed, watching, because the deep ocean was never designed for human eyes. It is a world built for pressure, darkness, silence, and patience. A place where survival rewards invisibility. A place where evolution quietly built giants while humanity looked toward the stars. The greatest monsters on Earth may not live in ancient history. They may still be swimming beneath us right now. When most people imagine unexplored worlds, they picture distant planets or alien galaxies far beyond Earth. But the largest unexplored realm on this planet has always existed beneath the waves. Hidden below thousands of meters of crushing darkness, the Pacific Abyss remains one of the last true wildernesses in existence. And every expedition into that darkness reminds humanity of something humble. We are not the masters of Earth's oceans. We are merely visitors. Somewhere below the final reach of sunlight, giants still move through black water untouched by human civilization. Ancient ecosystems continue surviving exactly as they did before humanity existed. Predators continue hunting in silence. Whale carcasses continue falling like feasts from another world, and giant eyes may still be watching from beyond the edge of visibility. The abyss never stopped evolving. We simply stopped looking. If the darkest parts of Earth's ocean still hide undiscovered giants, what else could be waiting below? And if humanity has explored more of outer space than our own oceans, are we truly ready to discover what lives in the deep? Subscribe for more cinematic deep-sea documentaries, because the next descent into darkness may reveal something even larger.